Heavy rain accompanied with cyclonic storm have crippled normal life in the few days back. This is not only a problem in the city of Guwahati, but the entire state of Assam has been suffering from flash floods. The city of Guwahati has been experiencing inundation and waterlogging problem after a heavy shower. What is the reason behind this? Rapid urbanization, construction of buildings in the low-lying areas, wetlands has led to such kind of devastation. And also at the same time, unplanned expansion of the Guwahati city, unable to accumulate the large number of population, has led to encroachment and shrinkage of forest cover. Now the question arises how this problem needs to be solved. With this, I welcome you all to the very new episode of Any Enviro Footprints on Flash Floods. Artificial flood has always been a major issue in the city of Guwahati. But viewers, there is no such fixed solution to this problem. Now the question arises how this problem needs to be solved. Individual responsibility and at the same time proper government planning is very important for solving this issue. On this, we have a report of the week. A flood is caused by a combination of heavy rainfall causing river oceans to overflow their banks and can happen at any time of the year, not just in the winter. Floods generally develop over a period of days when there is too much rainwater to fit in the rivers and water spreads over the land next to it, the floodplain. However, they can happen very quickly when lots of heavy rain falls over a short period of time. These flash floods occur with little or no warning and cause the biggest loss of human life than any other type of flooding. The worst cases of flooding may occur if there is a combination of storms, spring tides and low atmospheric pressure. Heavy rain accompanied by a cyclonic storm for 2 days crippled normal life in most parts of Assam, especially in the state's main city of Guwahati, with several areas submerged, the worst being Lachit Nagar, Rajgarh, Zoo Road, Nabin Nagar, Hengrabari and GS Road areas. Floods disrupt normal drainage system in cities and sewage spills are common, which represents a serious health hazard, along with standing water and wet materials in the home. Bacteria, mold and viruses cause diseases, trigger allergic reactions and continue to damage materials long after a flood. Flooding can be very dangerous. Only 15 centimeters of fast-flowing water are needed to knock you off your feet. Flood water can seriously disrupt public and personal transport by cutting off roads and railway lines as well as communication links when telephone lines are damaged. Floods can distribute large amounts of water and suspended sediment over vast areas, restocking valuable soil nutrients to agricultural lands. In contrast, soil can be eroded by large amounts of fast-flowing water, ruining crops, destroying agricultural land, buildings and drowning farm animals. Rapid urbanization with increased housing and construction activities in the city has led to more rooftops, driveways, streets and other impervious or hard surfaces. This has resulted in decreasing land capacity to soak up and carry excess water. Moreover, The unplanned expansion of the city to accumulate increasing population has led to severe encroachment in the low-lying areas, hills, and shrinkage of forest cover. This denuded hills thus led to artificial floods and waterlogging. Immediately after every downpour, the city drains get silted up with silts coming with storm water, running down the hills, flooding the streets. The wetlands also cannot accumulate the excess storm water of the city. A wetland is a land area that is saturated with water either permanently or seasonally, such that it takes on the characteristics of a distinct ecosystem. Primarily, the factor that distinguishes wetlands from other landforms or water bodies is the characteristics of vegetation that is adapted to its unique soil condition. Wetland plays a number of roles in the environment, principally water purification, flood control, and shoreline stability. Wetlands are also considered the most biologically diverse of all ecosystems, serving as home to a wide range of plant and animal life. Besides recharging groundwater supplies and trapping floodwaters, wetlands serves a variety of important ecological functions. Preservation and conservation of wetland is very important as it plays a crucial role in maintaining and balancing the ecosystem. Such natural water bodies is disturbed by landfilling, construction of high-rise buildings over the wetlands and low-lying areas which used to be the water reservoir of excess rainwater. Siltation in drain associated with soil erosion stemming from destruction of hills and improper drainage system and clogging of drains together with haphazard dumping of solid waste have combined to worsen the situation in relation to artificial flood and waterlogging in the city. The government of Assam has already given a notice not to disturb the wetland through any form of establishment and illegal settlement and occupying of land. Janoni, Guwahati জলাশয় অৱক্ষয় আৰু সংৰক্ষণ 2008 বৰ্ষৰ আইন অনুসৰি এই জলাশয়ত যদি কোনোবা ব্যক্তিয়ে কোনো ধৰণৰ নিৰ্মাণ কাৰ্য বা বেদখল কৰে তেতিয়াহলে এই আইন 61 নম্বৰ ধাৰা মতে 50,000 টকা জৰিমনা বা 3 বছৰ কাৰাবাস বা উভয়ে প্ৰযোজ্য হ'ব। গুৱাহাটী মহানগৰ উন্নয়ন কৰ্তৃপক্ষ। During flood, roads, bridges, farms, houses are also destroyed. It also disturbs the transportation system, which ultimately creates problem for the people. It usually takes years for affected communities to be rebuilt and business to come back to normalcy. The environment also suffers when floods happen. Chemicals and other hazardous substances end up in the water and eventually contaminate the water bodies. Additionally, flooding kills animals and other insects are introduced to affected areas, distorting the natural balance of the ecosystem. Flood can have devastating consequences and can have effects on the economy, environment, and people. People suffers from huge loss of properties and also financial loss as flood water spills over their houses, destroying many household things, and at the same time, many expensive properties are destroyed.
गवर्नमेंट का नेग्लिजेंस के लिए वो लोग का एक कोई डिसीजन नहीं है कि कैसे उसको फ्लड को कंट्रोल किया जाए या कुछ किया जाए, उनका कोई वो नहीं है। इसके बदले हम लोग का हालत ऐसा हो गया, उन लोग के लिए हुआ है, दूसरा कुछ नहीं। ड्रेनेज सिस्टम कोई सिस्टम का यहाँ में ड्रेनेज सिस्टम कुछ नहीं। जितना भी बारिश हो जो भी हो कम से कम उसको एक वाटर लॉगिंग हो सकता है, पर इतना वाटर लॉगिंग कभी हो सकता है क्या बोलिए? ये तो कभी नहीं हो सकता है। तो आज हम लोग का देखिए ये हालत है।
Many people are killed in flash floods. Many are injured and others made homeless. Many public properties are lost during floods. Water supply and electricity are disrupted and people struggle and suffers as a result. In addition to this, flooding brings a lot of diseases and infections including military fever, pneumonic plague, dermatopathia and dysentery. Sometimes insects and snakes make their ways to the areas and causes a lot of havoc.
अभी गुवाहाटी के सारी तरफ आपको पहाड़ी है, पहाड़ का आदमी जमीन करता है, ठीक है, वो जमीन का जो मिट्टी है बारिश में नाला में भर देता है, नाला ठीक से सब नहीं करता है, इसकी वजह से ये हो रहा है। ये 3 फुट डीप है, लेकिन ये अभी आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 1.5 फुट मिलेगी, कहीं में तो 1 फुट मिलेगी। अभी ये इस रास्ते में अंडरग्राउंड ड्रेन है, कभी साफ नहीं हुआ है, 10-15 साल हो गया है अंडरग्राउंड ड्रेन, लेकिन उस पर पानी नहीं रुकता है, उल्टा वहाँ से इस तरफ आता है, वही वजह है।
तो इसका ये सॉल्यूशन आप एक सॉल्यूशन बता सकते हैं आपका हिसाब से?
मेरे हिसाब से ड्रेनेज सिस्टम ठीक तरह से क्लियर कीजिए, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ड्रेनेज सिस्टम ठीक से क्लियर कीजिए, जितना डीप का बनाया था ड्रेन उतना तक अब साफ कीजिए, थोड़ा थोड़ा से एक चम्मच जैसा ड्रेन साफ करता है, लेकिन चम्मच जैसा लेकर के, और वो भी उठा करके साइड में रख देता है, फिर वही नाला में आ जाता है।
Team of the National Disaster Response Force NDRF consisting of 125 rescuers, 17 rubber boats and 4 RAFs launched massive search and rescue operations. The NDRF teams transported seriously ill civilians to hospitals after evacuating them from flooded areas. The NDRF always stand by the affected people at the time of their need. At present, a team of NDRF with DIV drivers, boats and all other life-saving aid continues to be deployed in the affected areas to assist civilians for any unwarranted situation. Incessant heavy rains throughout the day led to an unprecedented deluge in East Guwahati. The RG Borua Road under the East Guwahati was under knee-deep water between the Guwahati Commerce College Point and Zoo Tiniali and between the Doordarshan Kendra and the State Zoo. It also disturbed in the functioning of the Doordarshan Kendra and created havoc for the employees of Doordarshan.
But the main concern is we want to find out the causes for which such havoc has created. There may be some blockage also. Is a fact also there is many blockage. Many areas has been encroached, even boreholes in many areas. So thereby the overflow in the water has been blocked also. Then another main problem is a landslide. Landslide, particularly in the hill areas, large number of encroachments. We have identified the vulnerable area about 370s.
Forest can deliver the functions of protection or conservation expected from it only if it is either in its natural state and under good natural ecological conditions, or when in use it is managed in a sustainable manner. The health of forest is fundamental to many of their environmental functions. The forest offers a habitat to flora and fauna, and depending on its health, vitality and ultimately the way it is managed or protected secures its own perpetuation through the functioning of the forest ecological process. Forest helps in protecting water resources. Trees and forest decreases the speed of water dispersion and favor slow but total infiltration of rainwater, particularly in dry areas. Such clearing of forest almost always causes significant damage to the forest ecosystem, and logging is usually associated with other forms of disturbances, including encroachment and increased hunting pressure, which can have greater and more lasting impacts than the logging itself, and ultimately leads to shrinkage of forest cover. Viewers, we come to our next segment of our episode, that is Talking Point, where we are going to discuss about flash flood, which is our main topic, with our expert A.K. Mitra. Hello sir, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Chandrakala.
So as we have seen that we are discussing about flash flood in the city, which is a major issue right now. So what do you have to say, like, urban flooding has been affecting in the larger perspective of river, and also, in case of urban flooding also. So what do you have to say regarding that?
Which is a very common phenomena, for the urban cities, both in India and abroad as well. Yes, if you have heard about the Bombay flooding some years back. So there was a huge downpour rainfall. It was 900 millimeter rainfall, and there was a cloud burst and huge flooding occurred in Bombay city.
Okay.
Now, in the last flooding of Guwahati city, if you remember that there was a downpour, that means the rainfall is more than 100 millimeter, as I understand. 100 millimeter. The quantum of the rainfall is not the question. It is within about 45 minutes 100 millimeter downpour, and again there was additional water coming from the Meghalaya catchment.
Okay.
So the location of Guwahati city, the geographical setting is such. If you look at this, there are hills. There are hills in the south as well, and it's like a tumbler.
Okay.
In your Assamese you say charai.
So,
it's like that.
Yeah.
And the most affected areas of Anil Nagar, Naveen Nagar and Lachit Nagar, they are in the trap portion. So what happened, because of such a downpour in a very small time, it could not get any time for concentration, and entire water that gushed down to the low-lying areas, causing flood. The huge quantum of rainfall within a very small time frame.
So the huge quantum of rainfall as compared to this year, what
Yeah,
is the quantum of rainfall like in
other
last years?
Last years it has not happened. There was no cloud burst also, but I am not aware of the rainfall that has occurred in Meghalaya. But definitely there was additional discharge, which contributed through Jorabat to the Guwahati city and accentuated the entire process of this submergence. And secondly, the main issue comes in that this water, you have seen the Varalu river, Varalu river in early days, there was not such population, there was not such growth, so it catered the entire rainfall discharge to the Varalu, ultimate to the Brahmaputra. But now the haphazard growth has occurred, and secondly, the people have not learned.
So public awareness is like
yes, public are not aware, and even if is aware, they do something wishfully also. They dump all the garbages in the Varalu river.
Okay.
That restricts the flow. Water cannot go. So where the water will go? So the problem becomes that we have three streams. One is Bahini. Bahini, one is this Varalu, one is Manavharalu, and another one is Pamohi channel. If those channels remain free and the carrying capacity of those channels are made maximum, then obviously the water which is coming through rainfall can be catered. There is compounding of many reasons,
So what is the major reason?
Major reasons is a haphazard growth, and unawareness of the people,
and also I think population
and the migration of people in the Guwahati city too much. And another very important issue is encroachment. Now, through which the excess water will pass. If that are encroached upon, then where water will go? So the water will obviously accumulate in the low-lying areas like Anil Nagar, like Lachit Nagar, like Naveen Nagar, etc. So that has happened. It's very unfortunate that for such an incident, people have died. We have lost precious life of 8 human beings. So in order to have this, to my mind, that in future days to come, if we are able to keep the carrying capacity of the Varalu river, Bahini river, Manavharalu and Pamohi channel in its fullest capacity by regrading and resectioning, it will be wonderful. In foreign countries I have seen that the drainage channel that is maintained so nicely. you know. But now you cannot drive out the people who are settling over here, so they will settle somewhere, but they need not be encroached the rivers, you know, the streams through which the, as you mentioned, flash flood water will pass. So this did not pass. Problem was created.
As we know that wetland has been a major stormwater storage basin for flood in the city. So what do you have to say regarding that? How it can be preserved?
I mean, it's my mistake. I have forgotten to tell you. Thank you very much for the question. Now you have correctly asked me the question that this wetlands has got a very, very important role to play in the case of to check the urban flooding. You know, in earlier good days when we were school students or so, there was so much of wetlands at Guwahati,
Yeah, exactly.
and rainfall was so much, but we have never seen that water is accumulating in Guwahati. Why? Because the water used to go to the wetlands, and wetlands absorbs the rainwater and also to some extent flood. Now only we have in all over Assam, only we have 3,000 wetlands. You have seen the Dipar Bill,
Yes,
the
Dipar
huge
Bill.
encroachment. What
Exactly.
Dipar Bill is a Ramsar site,
Yeah.
and it's a huge wetland. But how we are encroaching that? Who is responsible for that? We are responsible.
Individual are definitely
And sufferers are who are sufferers? Sufferers are public. So we need to protect and preserve these wonderful natural water bodies. I do feel that every citizen should pledge that they will not disturb the wetlands or the natural water bodies and the natural streams for the safety of themselves.
So as we know, like urban flooding has been a major issue.
Yes.
So we know that there is no fixed solution to this problem, but at least to some extent this problem can be solved. So what do you have to say regarding that? How this problem can be solved? To some extent.
Yes,
at least.
good question.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I mean, urban flooding is a common phenomena
Yeah.
for developing and developed cities in the world. As you know, Bangkok is also having urban flooding problem, but their scenario is different than us.
Yeah.
So they tackle or handle such flash flood or urban flood, whatever you say, in a different manner.
Okay.
They take down the entire downpour in an underground reservoir,
Okay.
and then they pump the
water.
water to the Chaupaya river.
Okay.
So in the ground or in the low-lying areas, the water is not much of a time. So the short-term measure is a pumping system,
Pumping system.
which we do have, but not in
is
a
not managed,
very
yeah.
systematic manner.
Yeah.
But that needs to be done. So what we will have to think of now that because of the construction of the highways in Meghalaya,
Yeah.
the entire mountain contours of the mountainous region has been disturbed. So a huge quantum of water from Meghalaya catchment comes. We will have to divert the water of the Meghalaya catchment right at Khanapara. You know, we are engineers and planners. We have thought of making some preliminary investigation and like that if we are able to divert the entire water from Khanapara itself to the Silsako Bill,
Okay.
and then subsequently through Bondajan to Brahmaputra, then that additional discharge will not come to the city. So that will be one exit. Number two, we can try to send the water through Marabharoli to Pamohi channel,
Okay.
and then to Dipar
What will
Bill.
be the procedure? Like
Yeah,
how
then
the water will be processed?
Then to the Dipar Bill, the certain area will be free of water. Then obviously when you have distributed the water through such a drainage network,
Yeah.
then rest of the water from Anil Nagar, these areas can be jolly well passed to Bharal.
So do you think like building of small tunnels can solve this problem?
This will have to be planned for, and for this reason, you will have to have a very critical survey and investigation.
Definitely. So, like so far, any kind of survey has been taken?
I mean, survey has been done, but not in a very systematic and scientific manner.
Okay.
By outsourcing such an important survey and investigation to an expert company, private company or so, who will have a latest contour survey for our entire Guwahati city. And whatever plan I am talking about, they will make the entire investigation to implement such plan. And already we are having 2 or 3 project reports.
Okay, what are the project reports?
One was prepared by Tahalka, it's a company from Israel. One was suggested by NIPCO. Another one was suggested by Water Resources Department. Now, these 3 can be studied, and if we have the survey and investigation done in a proper manner, in the most by using scientific instruments and by doing the most modern technique, then it will be very clear to us how best this water can be evacuated. So I think that may be a long-term solution. It may take some time, but it may start after this flood season is over. It may start.
So when are you planning to start it, or like?
I mean, this is with the. I think the government is also very serious in this matter.
Because like we have seen few days back,
they are very serious, and they have,
and
they have taken it emergency. I must thank the district administration. They have already formed a 14-member contingent team as emergency team. Because in anywhere in the world, so this urban flooding management is a multidisciplinary approach.
Exactly.
Law enforcing authority, district administration,
everyone is responsible.
Everyone is responsible. So they have constituted a team of 14 members who will be responsible round the clock for such happening. So anything has happened at 2 a.m. and nobody is there, such situation will never arise. So when government is so serious about such issue to resolve it, I am very much optimistic that in course of time, whether within, I think this year, the project report, a balanced project report in most scientific manner will be ready. And if it is implemented, even if it is in a phased manner, this will definitely give better results. And the Guwahatians will get a most modern storm water drainage system.
So thank you, sir, for your precious time and your valuable suggestion to our viewers. Thank you for being with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So viewers, with this we come to our last segment of our episode, Know Your Environment. In a metropolitan city like Guwahati, forest cover and natural water reservoir, which is known as Bill in Assamese, plays a very crucial role in maintaining the ecosystem of the city. But once it is disturbed by individual and government through encroachment and settlements of construction of buildings and houses, leads to devastation during flood. And at the same time, excessive land cutting and deforestation has led to major devastation in the flood areas. Here we can mention about Dipor Bill, which is identified as Ramsar site as internationally important. Dipor Bill, which is the only major stormwater storage basin during flood in the Guwahati city, plays a very important role. But recently, encroachment and illegal settlements near the bill accelerates flood problem in the Guwahati city, because wetland plays a very important role in soaking of flood water. So with this, I have a tip for you. First of all, encroachment and illegal settlement should be stopped, and most importantly, tree plantation, which will help your environment to grow. And at the same time, public awareness is very important, and education on conservation and preservation of such heritage and wetland areas should be encouraged for the schools and the colleges. So viewers, with this, I come to the end of our show. Thank you for watching our show. Hope to meet you soon. Thank you and take care.